What's that got to do with surveillance?
So you're surveilling what we are doing?
Yes, I am. I'm keeping you honest.
I said finish with Israel, same way.
Which is what you just said.
Yeah.
Israel must be eradicated and
Finish with it. It's not good for human
so
society.
what happens to the Jews and the Israelis?
We can live in a new country.
They're judging me. They don't know me.
The whole thing about human rights and tolerance and diversity is that we have people like this in our country, and we have people who are patriotic in our country. Say what? What? That's what I just said, you stupid old bat.
Holding traffic for getting out of here. Every bloody time you're holding traffic.
If you don't like it, we're not against it. We're not against it. Why are they marching in our streets?
Ripping it up, ripping it up. And will I? Back in Leeds. This is a new flag I've never seen before. Black bands with green, blue, white, yellow, red stripes, diagonal.
Hi, good day.
Simon, what is that flag?
Which one?
The one that's the black with the red, yellow, white, blue, green, diagonal.
Don't know.
I have no idea either, I've never seen that before.
You realise you're doing surveillance?
Do you realise you're doing a political protest?
Yes. But you realise you're doing surveillance?
I am not doing subverted surveillance.
Don't you need permission for surveillance?
No.
Why not?
This is videoing of what's going on in the public.
Yes, but you're using it to put online.
What's that got to do with surveillance?
So you're surveilling what we are doing?
Yes, I am. I'm keeping you honest, rather than being a bunch of terrorist supporters.
But that means you must ask us first.
No, not at all. You can see what I'm doing.
I
do not hide. No, you can see that I am doing this. I am not hiding.
I can see that you're.
Therefore, it is not covert surveillance. It is not covert
surveillance. It's not covert. It's open.
It's video of what is going on in Leeds.
But you're surveilling the march. We would regard that as a threat.
Unlucky.
Well, you can do what you want, of course.
Exactly.
But then you stand next to that asshole in the wheelchair.
Oh, I'm standing next to an asshole right now.
Then you're there to protect him.
I'm standing right next to an asshole right now. As soon as you say that, just because he is a Jew.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
He's lying.
What is he lying about?
He's lying about Gaza.
What is he lying
Gaza.
about?
Gaza was paradise before Hamas. I've lived in Gaza. It's not a paradise. It was a prison.
There are videos there of how beautiful it was, how fantastic it was, how fantastically built up it was.
Nonsense. I have lived there.
Then you are lying to me.
You're an idiot.
Thank you, Simon. You're a terrorist supporter. Bye-bye. There's a large group of old age pensioners. They seem to have raided some of the retirement homes.
Yeah, I've got something to show you.
What have you got to show me?
I've showed him, look. This is, you might be interested in this. The first Zionist conference, it's on Wikipedia.
The first Zionist Congress, when was that? 1897? That's 130 years ago nearly.
Yeah.
So what's your issue?
I'm going to point a few little facts out.
You're going to point out some facts to me.
See that guy there?
Who is that guy there?
It's called Theodor Herzl. He's the founder of Zionism.
I don't think he is the founder of Zionism. He is. Well, it might say that, but it's Wikipedia. Wikipedia can be changed by anyone around the world to be able to do that. However, I will grant you that, what was his name? Herzl.
Theodor Herzl.
He was the one that was promoting a return to Israel and an Israeli state. I will grant you that, absolutely. But Zion and Zionism, the Jews, ever since time immemorial of having been kicked out of Israel by the Romans, every day when they pray to Zion, being Jerusalem, an area of Jerusalem, the city of David, and their return to it. I mean, so it's been going on for thousands of years. Don't try and put it back to the 19th century. Although Herzl was a proponent of it and wanted it.
If you want to have a look here.
You're showing me Wikipedia again.
The Zionist Commission was informed a group established, claimed by
Chaim Weissman. Okay.
And it says, explained the Zion Palestine office was established in
hang on.
it
expanded the ZOs. What's the ZO? No, it does not say Zio, it says ZO. Well, that's not my problem. I'm going to correct you. I want to know what ZO.
I don't know.
I imagine it's going to be Zionist organization or something.
Yeah. I'll put my reading glasses just for.
It might be an idea. It might be an idea, because when you said Zio, that has a particular connotation where people use it as a slur, and it is a racial slur nowadays.
All right.
Because people use it to mean Jew.
I'm just quoting you. In Palestine office, which was established in 1907, into small departments of agriculture, settlements, education, land, finance, immigration, statistics.
Hang on, say that sentence from the beginning of the paragraph, please.
From here?
That beginning of the paragraph. Just read that out.
The Zionist Commission was an informal group established by Chaim Weissman.
So an informal group. Okay, so it's not official.
Right. It carried out initial surveys of Palestine.
Yes, the area of Palestine.
Yeah, so
next words.
Okay. Aided by repatriation.
No, and what?
And aided by.
No, there's no by in there.
And aided the repatriation of Jews sent into exile by the Ottoman Turks during the second.
Sent into exile by the Ottoman Turks. What do you think that means?
That means probably they went away or forced to go away.
Forced. Kicked out.
Yeah. What was the reason?
Because they're Jews, they're not Muslims. The Ottoman Turks forced people into exile.
Yeah, but why would you do that?
I have no idea. You tell me. You're the one that is promoting this position, and all I'm doing is going.
I can give you.
Read that little bit beforehand.
Yeah.
And if you've not, this is the first time I've seen this. But if you've not done the research to be able to explain questions about it.
I can't tell you why was the reason. I'm asking you.
Why not?
I can give
Why didn't you read it with an objective, questioning mind that goes, I wonder what that means? Because because the issue of sending people into exile is a particular aspect that you lot are all moaning about and claiming is happening. Hello, Kelly.
Hi.
What's your name?
Kelly.
No,
Kelly Exley, United Kingdom.
Okay, you blog as well. All right, okay.
Do you see what I mean, though?
No, but Israel been kicked out. Is it 108 countries? Why is that? Why is it 108?
Israel has been kicked out from 108
That's what I read on the
countries.
internet. Yeah. Somebody said Israel's been kicked out from 108.
Israel has been kicked
Well,
out.
the Jews have it.
Right. Okay. Let's get our language absolutely right here, G.
Okay. The Jews been kicked out of 108 countries.
Right, and why do you think that might be?
I think it's what's going on now.
No.
That's what I think.
No, when was this stuff?
It goes back in even in Britain. It's in 1264, I think.
Right,
The British kicked the Jews out.
Okay. So 1264. Let's say Britain kicked the Jews out. Who was running Britain at the time?
don't know.
What type of culture was it in that time?
It was quite simple.
I'll get
medieval.
Medieval. That's a good one. I'll give you another word. Crusades.
Yeah,
Crusaders.
yeah.
Fundamentalist Christians prior to the whatever the word is when Protestantism came in. You know, the people that blamed the Jews for killing Jesus. Why do you think at that time the Christian country might go, as a fundamentalist set of Christians, we're going to kick those motherfuckers out?
Well, that was the mindset they did. I don't think they knew about stereotypes.
You're the one that opened this argument up.
I'm not arguing. I'm just debating.
Exactly, and I'm debating it
We're not
back.
swearing at each other.
I'm debating it back. But if I ask you to clarify the points you're making, I expect you to have some of the background to it, and you clearly don't.
No.
So
what I've read in history, the Jews have come in, and they simply started taking over the nation and culture. This is why the Egyptians put them into slavery.
Taking over a nation and a culture. Now that is a claim that you're going to have to substantiate.
That's what it says. What I've read.
Provide the evidence for it.
I've read that, and then the pharaohs, and they said you're taking over the place. You're not living as working people.
The pharaohs. Yeah. When was this? And where are you getting your information from? Because it sounds like it's biblical times.
It's very, very biblical.
Of the Old Testament, and you're talking 5,000 years ago.
Yeah. And
the only information that we've got from that time is from the Old Testament. Yeah. There might be some stuff from the Sumerian texts and the way that they wrote their languages. But what you've got a problem there is the whole of the world at that point was about conquering different places. And there is no doubt that the area of Israel, Judea, Samaria, Canaan, whatever term you want to use for it, it wasn't known as Palestine then. It might be the area of Palestine as of now, and as of since 132 CE. But that whole time period was all about conquering, was all about different nations. If you know anything about history, you're going through absolutely everything. Everything was war all the time. Israel and the Israelites were conquered. Then they went back, they conquered their place back, then they got conquered again. There's the King David coming up around about the 5th, 6th century BCE. You've got a lot there, but you can't just come up with stuff that you just read and then claim.
That's the way we get information from the internet. You can't, but not people do.
Well, no. What you're doing is you're not looking into it.
I've looked into it hours and hours.
You're not looking into it.
You're
looking at stuff that you want to look at, and you've got none of the background of why certain things happen.
I'm trying to explain. The pharaohs put the Jews to slavery because they simply tried to take over. This could be the reason you're asking why they got kicked out of so many places. We're simply
Where did the Jews try to take over?
The countries where they settled in, like France, Germany. Do
you know where the pharaohs were?
The pharaohs was in Egypt.
Right. But so what are you talking about France and Germany for?
Because that's where they all moved into the areas they moved in. Was not
stop. Not at the time of the fucking pharaohs. Pardon my language, but I apologise to anybody that might have heard.
It's all over Europe.
I mean, this is really, really strange.
It's not
really strange.
It's simple.
Do you know where the Jews, the furthest the Jews went up to around about the 1st century was Rome?
I don't know about that time, but what I'm saying, there were Jews all over Europe. They were in Spain, Italy.
When?
Round in history.
When?
I don't know. I wasn't alive.
When?
But I'm going recording what's on the internet.
When?
Back in history.
This is important stuff.
Yeah,
You've
this
got
is
to be able to
important stuff.
put history into context
And that's all, yeah.
of a time period, so that you can go from one time period to another, to another, to another, to work out what happened.
Yeah.
You can't just go, they were there. Hey, guess what? The Brits were there. Guess what? All the Arabs were there. The Arabs took over Spain, Andalusia. The Arabs went through all the way through to Vienna. They were going through Tours and France.
They went to India.
They may well have gone to
Yeah, they
India.
go to India.
It's like, if there's any colonization that is the most successful, that has been maintained, it is Islam. It is the Arabs.
I've got
They've got
nothing-
the whole of the north of Africa, they've got the whole of the Middle East, and they're expanding into Europe.
Listen, I've nothing against anybody. Anybody, I don't
Well,
care.
you seem to be arguing something
But if
about
you listen-
everybody hates the Jews because in the past everybody
I'm
has
trying to give
kicked
you-
them out.
I'm trying to give you an explanation. You ask me a question and I'll give you the answer. What I'm trying to say with this document, the Jews, or the Zionist Jews, they came from Poland and Germany, and they recognised Palestine in 1926. It was what's called Palestine.
The area of Palestine, it
Yeah.
was a mandate of Palestine.
As I explained to you
Who
before,
was running at the time?
British.
The British.
Yeah.
When did they start taking it?
From 1917 till 1939.
What happened in 1917 that they got that area?
They actually fought against the Turks, the British,
During,
the First World War.
thank you very much.
And it was
Yes.
the British,
And they-
Indian,
and
and
the Turks
Australian
lost.
armies which defeated the Turks. That's important. The Australians
Right.
fighting there, the Indians fighting
So
there.
how big was Palestine?
It's half the size of Wales.
No. How big was
Oh, sorry.
Palestine in 1917?
So Palestine would have gone into half of Jordan and Syria. Palestine, Syria.
Yeah.
No, what I'm trying to say with this
Yeah.
document,
Where do you think was the nation of Palestine in 1922? And I mean a nation.
it was under the Turks.
22.
Oh, sorry, British, yeah.
No. It was the independence of Jordan. The Hashemite kingdom of Jordan became the Palestine land as a nation.
I don't know. It was under British control 1917 to 39, so how could Jordan have
No,
it?
because Jordan got given their independence in 1922. They took that whole land. The mandate of Palestine was solely about, right, we've got to work out whose land this is. It was not about British colonisation of we're going to keep it. It was, we've been given the responsibility to split that land up.
Who by?
And by the United Nations or the League of Nations, by everybody. And Britain and France were together. France had the responsibility for determining the borders
That's what I'm telling you last
slightly
time.
north, Syria and Lebanon, and some parts of the Kurds and etc. They did that. If you are trying to take stuff backwards, you then have to start considering we need to remove the concept that Syria is a country, Lebanon is a country, Jordan is a country, Israel is a country, and all of those bits around the side of Israel. And then you determine, right, how are we now going to split it up? Who owns this land? This is where you've got a problem. This is where the logic takes you.
As I told you last time, the borders were split up by France and Germany.
No.
Yes, it was.
Not Germany.
No, France and Britain.
Right.
The borders were split up by
Alongside the United Nations, or the League of Nations as it will have been at the time.
And there were no Israel then. It was under Palestine. Israel got
Do you
created
know what?
14th of
Do you
May,
know what Palestine
1940.
actually is called under the mandate of Britain?
What?
Eretz Israel. Palestine, the holy land of Israel.
Then, G.
Huh?
Get out of that one.
That's what the British called it. They've also called it Palestine. So
That's why every
also call it
Jew in
Palestine.
the area. That's why
so how to get out of that one?
That's why every.
They named it different names.
The area of Palestine is the equivalent of calling somewhere the Pennines. It's an area. It's not a bloody nation. Why don't you get that?
Why don't you get that? Israel created 1948 and they
Yes,
bombed and killed
independent.
British soldiers and Arab soldiers. Why don't you get that? So I don't know why you stand aside.
What do you
This
mean they
criminal-
bombed and killed? Yes, there was a lot of shit going on.
Israeli
There was a
terrorism.
lot, and Arab terrorism.
Israeli
1930 in Hebron, when the Arabs slaughtered every Jew that was there. There was a lot of shit going on. Totally right. Yes, I can't do anything about shit that's
can I.
going on.
No.
Yeah, but you're arguing it as if it's all the Jews' fault. No, there was a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff. There was a lot of terrorism from both
You
sides.
named it Arab terrorism. What were they called?
What were they called? I don't know
I know
what
the
they were
Israeli
called.
terrorists will call a Stern Gang, they'll call Haganah, Argun,
I-
and Levy. What was the Arab terrorism called? No, Hamas then.
No, there wasn't.
So
but
what
there
was
was
the Arab-
There was Arabic terrorism that was going on.
know
That
the
was
Israeli
slaughtering. That was slaughtering Israelis
such-
and Jews. I won't say Israelis because it wasn't classified as Israel then. They were slaughtering Jews in their communities the whole way through.
But
And
let's-
this has
I
been
hope your
going
mental
on.
health's okay.
Huh?
I hope your mental health's okay after this.
You
know, 'cause sometimes you can mess with your mental health.
He's not messing with my mental health. I mean, he's floundering because
I'm not floundering,
he's
I'm
just
showing you
jumping. He's jumping
facts.
from taking one thing from Wikipedia without having gone, okay, what's that mean? All he's done is read two sentences and it's led to this conversation because he doesn't have any of the background.
What's your background?
I've just been
Seems
giving you my
educated. I mean, he
background.
knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, but where's his back? You couldn't even name me the Jewish Arab terrorism.
I don't need to name the gangs. I couldn't even name the Jewish gangs. I know
So
there was
there's things what
terrorism.
You won't know as well,
Yeah.
Jay.
I am accepting terrorism was there from the Jews.
Okay, there was terrorism
I am
from both
also
sides.
accepting there was terrorism
And they killed
from the
British
Arabs.
soldiers
I am
and
also
Arabs. What
accepting
people
that
do
the
not
British screw it up at times, like we did in India and Pakistan, like we did everywhere. But we also left some structures in all of those places where Britain was that has actually helped them to develop into fantastic countries. And some of them still use them, especially
The railway.
India.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, the railway.
And the civil service. In India, it's extremely corrupt, but it allows the system to work. It gives a structure to stuff, and it allows decisions to be made. It's like, come on, G.
No, you come on.
It can't be just one-sided though, G.
I'm not being one-sided. I can't deal with Israel because they're
Okay, what's your solution for Israel? What's your solution for
Be
Israel?
done with it. It's just to create so many crimes. Let me finish.
Can't be done.
Yeah, be done with Israel. Like
What do you
we've done
mean
with
by
South
be done?
Africa.
What does that mean?
Finish with Israel like you finished with Africa. So
Hold on. What do you mean you finished with South Africa? South Africa still exists under the name South Africa. What do you mean when you say finish, be done with Israel? What
Be
does that
done with
mean?
Israel
Back
because
off the map.
What does that mean?
don't recognise it as state, recognise Palestine. Israel has committed such atrocities, war crimes. You can't. All the world's going against Israel now. You've got to be silly.
it's not.
It is. There's a lot of countries now. Spain,
It's not.
France,
Oh,
they're all turning.
You've got individual people who
A lot
are
of
saying,
countries are going,
slow down.
Are you okay?
You
It's only
haven't got
Britain.
any European country
Well,
that is
well,
saying that you've
I
not
used to
got
go
one,
doing
not got one country that is saying Israel must be eradicated and taken off the map.
I said finish with Israel. Same way. you
Which
finish-
is what you just said.
Yeah.
Israel must be
Finished.
eradicated and
Finish with it. It's no
right.
good for human society.
So what happens to the Jews and the Israelis?
They can live in a new country.
What
They want to
new
eradicate.
country?
They want to eradicate all the Palestinians that causing African.
Who says?
It's mutually. It's all over the
Who
internet.
says that?
The ministers, health ministers, said they want to destroy Gaza,
Right.
kill every single Palestinian baby, so they'll grow up
Right.
as terrorists.
I
They want
hope
to kill
you've got
every single
evidence for that.
Palestinian. I've got evidence. It's all
I hope
over the
you
internet.
have, because it sounds like Palestinian talking points when I have not heard any of that.
It's all over the internet. It was even on Question Time on BBC. Everybody's gone so against it. It's only you who've been loyal with it.
You're jumping again.
I'm not jumping.
Everybody's gone against it. Against what?
This genocide. It's genocide. Are you blind to it?
What happens in a genocide?
A genocide is systematic murdering of the people, innocent people. These are war crimes. They bombed every single building in Rafah. They destroyed all the buildings. You can't tell me Hamas was in every single
How many
building.
people have been killed?
You're talking about 46,000, even to 100,000 if you count the people under the rubble. It's scandalous.
Right, hold on. And how many of those were the people that they were after?
I don't know, maybe, I don't know, less than 1,000, I reckon.
No, I'm going to accept you 50,000. I'm probably going to put it up to 60,000 because 46,000 was the number. These are Hamas numbers, remember? 46,000 was the number before the ceasefire, the last ceasefire, yeah? Then there was a ceasefire, and now I'm going to say, okay, let's say another 15,000 people have been killed since then, right? Let's say, Hamas's numbers are now 50,000.
Yeah.
I'm going to up it to 60,000. I'm going to give it to you, right?
And he says, you say one life is too many, don't you?
Yeah, one life is too many.
Yeah.
I'm going
On either side,
to give that to you. I'm going to give that to you. 60,000 people have died.
That's your number.
And it's Hamas numbers, plus I've added more on.
People saying 100,000,
For fuck's
200,000.
sake, right? I'm giving you Hamas's actual numbers,
You give
and
what
I'm
number you want.
adding some on,
Okay.
right? I'm adding some on.
All right.
Because they haven't given us any extras, right? I'm giving you Hamas numbers and adding more.
Okay.
60,000, yeah? Now, I'm going to take the Israel numbers and I'm going to go, if I accept the Hamas numbers, because I know that they're fake, but I'm going to accept them, I'm going to take the Israel numbers. Israel says that they have targeted and killed 25,000 terrorists.
Kashmir terrorists that wear the Palestinian flag.
No, it's not about waving a Palestinian flag. It's about somebody who is part of Hamas who wants to annihilate the Jews and has a gun, right? I'm going to take their numbers.
Deluded, man. I saw a woman.
Are you?
I saw
right.
a woman with a white flag.
So
White
everybody, please now
They are
listen,
very
right?
deluded.
Please now listen. I am accepting the Hamas numbers, which we know are incorrect, but I'm just going, I'm accepting it.
Yeah.
G is not accepting the numbers from Israel. He just goes, exactly. And this is where
You can't deny everything, G.
this is where you are unable. Okay, right. But which just goes to show how dishonest you are.
Dishonest.
Completely
You don't
dishonest.
believe in anything. It's just so that makes you dishonest, not
I've
impartial.
just
all
said
Israel's fault
I'm
and nothing to do with
taking
Palestine?
their numbers.
Yeah.
So it's all Palestine's fault.
You saw that
Israel.
patchy helicopter
I just
killing
said-
the festival goers. You saw them killing
I
your
just
people.
said I'm accepting
Did
the
you see that
numbers.
video?
Right, okay.
Did you see that video?
I just said I'm accepting the numbers.
Yeah, all right, so,
G, you're a dishonest interlocutor.
No,
You do not.
I'm not
you
dishonest.
do not.
You're taking the Israel side. It's a war criminal. They
All
kill
I've done
babies
is
and
I've said.
children.
All I've done is I've said
But
I'm
Palestine killed
accepting
innocent
the
people.
Hamas
No.
numbers.
Palestine's not killed any innocent people.
Oh, clearly, yeah, clearly.
Israeli army shot
G,
the festival goers.
G,
I saw you that video.
You are a dishonest interlocutor, G. No, I'm not speaking to you anymore. You are one of the worst possible. Holy fucking shit.
Did he give you an headache this morning, Ben? Has he give you an headache this morning?
No. He has made me realise how stupid a lot of people in the world
Yeah.
are, though.
I did try to put him right, but he won't even have it from me.
There's no
would not
putting
have
him
it.
right. He comes from a perspective that there is nothing whatsoever good and nothing true coming out from a country called Israel, and everybody's lying. But it's like, oh,
The trouble with him is one-sided.
really?
It's one-sided.
I was even accepting their own numbers.
You did, yeah. Yeah.
To then be able to say something, and he couldn't. It's like the guy's lost.
Yeah, I
Lost.
said to him, you're wrong on this one. You're wrong on this one. And when he said, I walked away, but when he said Palestine is not to blame or whatsoever, they've not killed one innocent person, I said, you're wrong. You're wrong. When he says that.
Nowhere's completely bloody innocent. Where is there a place on earth where everyone's
nowhere.
innocent?
Nowhere.
I mean, I'm not even innocent.
I'm not innocent.
Exactly. I mean, it's bloody nuts. The whole lot of it is just bias and.
But you can't-
It's the fog of war. Everybody talks everybody produces propaganda in the fog of war. So you get rid of the fog of war and try and get down to the basics.
Yeah, you can't with him though. You can't with you. I was surprised. I come out at library and I seen you talking to him. And then a week before I said, I'm not talking to me, just my mental health no good. That's why I said, I was in mental health, you know.
I clearly slept quite well last night. You know?
Yeah. I was surprised when you walked away and said, I'm done, I'm done, and you walked away. I'm surprised that you walked away. I was going to say, come back.
No, I can't deal with somebody who is so unable to see that there has to be another side to every argument. There has to be.
Some of the things you put towards him, all right, you know, I'm getting looked at as if I'm some kind of alien.
Well, you're a fascist, Nazi, racist in your
right wing.
George flag shorts, England top, Leeds United cap.
And Solomon, who's Israeli, who our best player, no doubt, he didn't win it on his own in the 91st minute, so that might go against me. In my Union Jack socks, St George's shorts, England top.
Everything about you, G.
Yeah, everything. No, not G, not G.
Oh,
not
shit,
G. Come on.
I need to apologise.
You've got to apologise.
I'm apologising for that.
Apology accepted. Apology accepted. Yeah. Oh, when I was down there at Town Hall, Asian guy looked at me, give me if a look could have killed me, I'd have been stone dead. You know, and then his wife give me a dirty look. Go stand on the pavement. I said, fuck off, I won't stand on the pavement. You know, as if because they're judging me, they don't know me.
The whole thing about human rights and tolerance and diversity is that we have people like this in our country, and we have people who are patriotic in our country. Say what? What? That's what I just said, you stupid old bat.
You see, people have to butt in where it don't even concern them. You didn't say no wrong, you were saying it's a free country.
Yes. And we've got this, and we've got that, and it's about diversity. And she goes, rah, 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 rah. I was like, what the hell is going on in this country?
You just says, right, you're just saying, you know, should have let you finish the sentence, right? You're just saying it's a free country, you know?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Oh, bastard.
And we're outside McDonald's and it is silent. Silent, 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 except for me. I'm the only one talking. And the bottom line is, if you do something like this, no one can complain against you. Nobody can complain about this. I know you're joking. Not out in the street. No one can complain. There's no chanting. There's no causing any problems. This is just, I don't know. It cannot be complained about, basically.
Let me get in. Hello. Hello.
There's happy guys around, and then not so happy guys and gals around. The Union flag and the flag of Yorkshire, the white rose. Jason Darling. I wasn't calling you Darling, that's the name that you use. I bet people like that don't have consideration for us. Like I said before, tell me how this will change anything in Israel. Well, if these people get their way, Jason, the change in Israel is that there would be no Israel. They want the annihilation and genocide. as is written in the Hamas constitution. And they're going even slower than they were along the other road. This is Vicar Lane. Right next to Leeds City Markets. This is a fantastic old building. Into the Kirkgate Market there. There's lots of different entrances and exits all the way around. It's absolutely huge. What I don't know about is anything to do with any of the floors that are above. I don't know anything about them at all. I don't know if they're offices or if any of them are residential. But it is a very, very impressive building right in the centre of town. And it's actually a really good market that's in there. There's a fish market, there's meat market, there's vegetable stuff, it's lots of processed food.
There's on the sign workspace. Unique workspace.
Which sign?
On the to let. You're on about the above.
Is it the whole thing? Are they wanting to let out the whole building? Is that what it's saying?
All the above, it looks like, yeah.
As opposed to its little individual
But then again,
rooms.
oh yeah, because there's a sign there. Yeah.
So if anybody wants,
Shit ton of offices.
you can hire out the Leeming building. You can let it. You can rent it. Could be the new police station, couldn't it?
Yeah, it's still big.
That says no because it's too big. And because it's a silent march, there is nobody that is being antagonistic. There's no chanting that they're doing, therefore there's no chanting that anyone else does. Another Banksy. Burly Banksy. Why are they not moving? They've decided they're not moving. No idea. No idea why they've not been moving. Their stewards desperately want them to start moving, and they're not bothering. They're just sort of, it's less than half a mile an hour at the moment. The street man's got to get out quickly. Quick, 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 quick. Let him out, he's got to deliver. Good guys.
Jesus. Lead your children to Jesus. It's very important. Hallelujah. Jesus loves you.
And they've stopped again. They've now started singing. It's no longer a silent march. What was going on then, apart from them stopping to start singing? So nothing happened. Weird.
End apartheid! End apartheid! Decolonize! Decolonize! No, we don't have a mic! So when he's been loaded, he comes! Right!
Oh, we might have some fun. As soon as they start making noise, people react to it. As soon as they start making noise, they've got people reacting. While they were silent, nobody could react. There was no basis for reacting.
Traffic for getting out of here. Every bloody time you hold in traffic,
We're not against it, we're not against it. Why the matching in our streets? Come on to our country, this is our country. We live by our morals. You don't try and change our morals.
Where's he from?
Where's he from?
No. You said your brother is...
A Royal Marine.
He's fighting for our country. Fucking fights for our country.
Respect to him.
Here, we're not against anything like that. We're just saying, there's no need to come in try and change our fucking morals. This is our on the streets because it's not our problem as Britain. If you come over here, you live by our rules. If you don't, then fuck off back. Simple as that. As simple as that. Don't come over here for free housing. Don't come over here for free housing. We don't sympathise for anyone not struggling in that, but come on, it's that. Why are they don't need to protest over here. It's not our problem. Come on, let's go. It's not our problem. It's their problem.
Nothing. I done nothing. I was chatting to them. They were chatting to me. This lot didn't like them chatting. Where's your brother? Is he abroad? Is he abroad? Your brother?
No, he's going abroad.
He's here. He's going. Yeah, good luck to him. Good luck to him.
He's a top lad and all.
We keep them in the straight and narrow.
Are you against?
Yes.
I love England.
We're all.
I love England. What are you filming for?
Yes.
Monday Media, my YouTube channel.
What's it about there? What?
Media.
Are you
we
against?
pretty much follow all of these protests.
What are you?
Do you have pen and paper? Write it down.
Are you with the protest or against?
No, he's against.
I'm pro-Israel.
For Israel, I'm Israel.
I'm pro-Israel.
Yeah. He's good, he's fine, and he is the
Monday
Palestine.
Media, as in Monday, but without the A, and then media. On YouTube.
Fuck them, man.
Hey,
I love
content.
Israel.
It's content for me. It's content.
Put us on your content.
You're on it already. We're live.
What's your thing?
Monday
We're live
Media.
now. Are we live?
MONDY.
MONDY.
Are we live
Media.
now? Are we live?
Yeah.
Here, put it in here first, please.
I'm typing it. Monday Media, yeah?
On YouTube, yeah.
Just that.
That is it. That is it. No spaces,
Is that
nothing.
right? Is that right?
My brother's
Yeah.
fighting for our country.
Let
He's
me
worked
say
so
that.
hard to get
Not,
to...
not so close because we can't see you.
Can I say my bit?
My brother.
So, we don't have a problem, but don't come to our country protesting. It's nothing to do with our country. Do you know what I mean? Just, why are they protesting on our streets? The UK government got enough to deal with. We don't need to deal with them. Do you know what I mean? We won't get a job back. It's got nothing to do with us. Simple as that.
As soon as they start chanting and shouting, we get some content. And Hayden gets to shout.
Jesus Christ!
Hallelujah! to Jesus. Give your life to Jesus. Give your life to Jesus.
Okay, Palestine was free. Israel pulled out in 2005. Hamas took over and then started shooting missiles at Israel. And you wonder why there's problems in Gaza.
Give your life to Jesus. Give your life to Jesus.
Hamas, the people that you support, started a war and didn't make any safe places for the people, not even the children, to go to. That's the reason why they're dying in this war. Because Hamas used them as sacrifices. You can shake your head, madam, but everybody knows it's a fact. You don't start a war, right, and use your people as sacrifices, because that's disgraceful.
I'm guessing he'd be quite happy with the freedom of speech of other people to be shaking their hand about saying he's a wanker, considering he just did that. And it's all very quiet. Looks like she's twisted her ankle or something. Now, it's an interesting chant. Israel is Arabia. Really? Oh, we're talking about colonization. We're talking about colonization. Arabia being up in the Levant is colonization. Automatically much more interesting once they've started chanting.
Down with the occupation, 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 down with the occupation.
Got like infighting going on and they won't listen to each other. They say move and they say no.
Yeah. He handed over his loudspeaker. He was doing the shouting, and now they've got right. We're going to stay here. So we've eventually got up to the top of the hedgerow, which is only about 400 metres. How long has that taken? Around about 3/4 of an hour. And they purposefully stopped right on the crossroads to cause as much disruption as possible. You just stop.
Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now! Ceasefire now!
So they've moved about 5 yards, and stopped again. They really annoy the shit out of everybody. So we got one little group that plodded off, thinking everybody would follow them. We had a second little group that plodded off a bit as well, thinking everyone would follow them. But the group with all of the drums are behind. So I'm stood right next to Starbucks right now, right in front of it. The main group hasn't come past yet. The first little group of old ladies and old men clearly want to stop the whole thing and go put their feet up. This second group looks like they want to stop the whole thing and go put their feet up. And they keep stopping every 10 yards. They spent all that time walking slowly without chanting anything. They seem to have now decided that because they're chanting and because they're shouting, they should stop every 10 metres and cause as much disruption for everybody as possible and as much noise. As I said earlier, when it was silent, there was no way of really complaining about it, and nobody was. Nobody complained at all when it was silent. It left everybody dumbstruck, and it would have been inappropriate. But as soon as they start chanting, it gives everybody else the right to shout back at them.
We will not stop, we will not rest. We will not stop, we will not rest.
And of course this chant is to do with Starbucks.
We will not stop, we will not rest. 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 Boycott Starbucks! 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 Boycott Starbucks!
Not appropriate to do that.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! No more genocide!
Abusing that woman because she got something from Starbucks. What do they do in the van, Pat? Do they watch YouTube? Have they got anything else to do?
Nothing.
They've got nothing else to do because they're just waiting, chatting and watching social media.
They haven't had up to do today, have they?
Nothing, no.
Nothing. Not even here.
What, today?
Yeah. He disappeared down the back streets.
Right.
All that stuff.
He would have been the only interesting thing here.
I need to be able to. Well, the end of another day.
They don't half make it long and boring. You know?
I didn't think they were going to start screaming, but they couldn't resist it, could they?
It's a bit disconcerting when they're not chanting, isn't it? Because it means you can't really chant yourself, aren't you?
Well, when we were going around there and they were quiet, and I was saying to everybody and the police, you see how the Jews are, we don't challenge them when they're quiet, we stay quiet.
Exactly.
Once they start, then of course it's
But
different.
everybody else stayed quiet. Everyone on the street, nobody challenged them. As soon as they started chanting, everything went up. up a notch.
Then you can challenge them.
It went really hot.
Anyway, I've taken a leaflet because I'm going to be educated, of course, when I read this.
Yes. Did you speak to G at all with his pamphlet about Zionism?
Bless him.
I had to walk away from
I had
him.
a Jewish woman come over and start challenging me on things, and I told her all the things, the facts, and da. And she finally she just walked away, and I thought, God almighty, what's up with you? They've been brainwashed by the cult leaders, haven't they? They've been brainwashed all around the world.
Definitely, but the whole world is being brainwashed because they're changing the internet, they're changing stuff like Wikipedia. It's all being put into its own language, it's all being changed.
Wikipedia can be changed, I don't know why anybody even reads it.
The thing about Wikipedia is it has good sources. You can check the sources, you can determine whether there's something you want to believe or not. But the words that are in it, you've got to take with a pinch of salt.
I think I just want to make something very clear, it's very simple. Right? Picking individual things is one thing, but choosing common sense is another one. So, very one simple, whether you agree with Hamas or agree with Israel or whoever you agree with, I'm just saying this, off the top of my head, right? Right, is it right to start a war knowing there's going to be a retaliation without having somewhere for your people safe to go? No. But they don't want to try and fathom that one out. That's all I'm saying, right? Let's not pick any right or any side. Let's just say, if you start a war, knowing there's going to be retaliation, and the only people that go in the tunnels are the fighters and the Hamas leader and his wife with a £20,000 Hermes bag and the kids, right? And everybody else can die, then who then should they be shouting at?
But then there's the next bit, is that...
That's just one thing.
The next bit is that every argument by the people who are then responding to the stuff, everything they say is a lie. Everything's propaganda, everything's lying, no information that comes out of Israel could ever be true, nothing by anybody that is pro-Israel could ever be true, it's all lies.
And when you tell them, I mean, I'll be honest with you, right, I haven't actually looked into what I'm about to tell you now, into the feasibility of it, right, because there's external Arab countries which I know aren't keen on Israel, but if Israel would have taken over Gaza, right, instead of Hamas, who once Israel pulled out, Hamas started attacking, if Israel would have taken over, right, I'm quite sure that eventually there's a lot of indoctrination to deal with over the years. I understand that, but let's just say, fantasy thinking. Let's just say if Israel would have done the same thing in Gaza as it did in Israel, there'd be millions of Palestinian Arab Muslims living peacefully, and Jews and Druze and everything, right? Because you see, the thing is, right, in Israel, this is so in Israel, you've got a great gay scene, you've got Arab Muslims, you've got Christians, you've got Druze. They've got a CV that shows how they can have peace between different peoples. Are you with me? So if they'd have taken Gaza over, I know it's hypothetical, it's but if they'd have taken Gaza over, it would have had a much better chance than Hamas taking it over, who wanted to attack Israel without protecting its people. God,
do you know what I think Israel should do? One of the options that Israel could do, recognise Gaza as Palestine. Just recognise it. Force them to actually be a nation, and then leave it up to everybody else. Everybody else.
Didn't they have chance? Didn't they have chances? So many chances. What about what's his name? Is it Arafat? Which is the one?
Yeah, but they rejected.
Yeah, they rejected it.
But if Israel just goes, yes, France, UK, Canada,
but didn't they do that
whatever,
when they pulled out?
We recognise Palestine as a state.
But didn't they do that?
Sweep it out from under their feet.
But didn't they do that though when they pulled out? Didn't they do that when Israel sort of say, right, it's yours?
No.
So why? Why do you say that?
Because it was it's still classified as...
Do you think it
I
would have
don't know
stopped
what
Hamas?
It's classified as.
Do you think it would have stopped Hamas doing what they did?
No.
Exactly, that's what I mean, yeah.
But their issue is recognising Israel. Israel recognise a specific area as Palestine. I wonder what all the different machinations and thoughts are around
Interesting to see, wouldn't it?
because the UK, Canada, France, they're all going, oh, we might have to recognise Palestine. If Israel actually proposed it at the United Nations, here you are, Gaza is Palestine. Now you all deal with it. We'll have nothing to do with them.
And we'll have our hostages back as well.
We'll have all our hostages back. We'll put up a barrier as if it's North Korea. Bang. It's up to you now, the rest of the world, and Egypt and the Arab countries, to coordinate Gaza. I wonder what would happen then.
Interesting.
I do wonder.
Interesting.
Well, this is another reason why I'm not a politician.